If there's one power that a lot of people would like to get, and that's the ability to find out what the other person's thinking. So in this video, we're also going to include what feelings your body, what signals your body sends you that your mind can't catch, that they really prioritize you, and what are the signals that your body tells you and sends you that the person doesn't appreciate you. And these signals are more accurate than the person's words and the person's action, because these signals are your body's unconscious judgment of all the evidence it's gathering against this person unconsciously, because your body catches things that your mind just doesn't. And those instincts are more accurate. It may not look accurate because it's abstract. Those signals are a lot more accurate because the things that your unconscious body and unconscious mind catches from people, the observations, there's no ego involved. So there's no distortion. There's no bias behind it. It's just pure raw data that if you just learn how to decode it, which is how I'm going to show you in this video, people can't play you. You just can't. You just have to realize that the mind plays tricks on you. Don't forget, we're having 60% off all of my courses using the coupon code MINDFUL, and 30% off my one-on-one sessions using the coupon code MINDFUL. This ends at the end of the month. You can purchase all of my courses, including Emotional Mastery and Charisma Blueprint, which is my new courses. Okay, let's continue with the videos. We all have had those moments when we could just get inside of somebody's head so that we can relieve the feeling that we're feeling. Sometimes people's inconsistency, sometimes people's behavior, sometimes people's erratic nature can discomfort us and throw us off kilter. And what causes that is the uncertainty of whether or not the person whom we're talking to really likes us. Why? Because unfortunately, your biggest enemy isn't really your friend over there, isn't really Tyrone, the personal trainer, isn't really Melissa, the white girl. No. They're not your enemy. Your biggest enemy is your mind.
Well, what about your predatory friend? Oh, that's pretty bad too. The friend who stabs you in the back, the person who betrays you, Judas. God, maybe that's the ultimate snake. It's like, well, how about when you betray yourself? Oh, yeah.
A mind that's unobserved, a mind that's not controlled, becomes your enemy. It'll begin to devour you, and it'll begin to tell you to do things that will hurt you, but also it'll feed you thoughts that are of low vibration, and those thoughts usually split you up inside, and that splitting up inside usually happens in the form of, do they like me? Do they really mean what they say? Are they really going to be there? And so observing people to see whether or not they really value us, whether or not they really prioritize us, is very hard to find out through just focusing on what they say to us. So if you can't really find out how much somebody values you through the words, what can you do? Because a lot of the times their actions can be confusing. So you're only left with one thing that is under your control, which is your emotions. Let me tell you something. You know how you have some diseases, you may not exactly find out that this person has the disease, but you can find out the symptoms. You may not see exactly the virus, but if you just look at the symptoms, you could kind of triangulate what the person really has. And you could also kind of triangulate how the person feels about you by how they make you feel. So let's talk about what those feelings are, because a lot of times your body knows what the person is thinking. You see, your body has knowledge about the universe that you just don't have. Your body knows its ancestors. Your body knows what its ancestor wanted. Your body knows what it needs. Your mind doesn't, right? You have urges. Your body has urges that have no words, but you act on it and it leads to a certain result. Your body knows what it's doing. The problem is that the signals that the body sends to the mind is not the same signal that the body sends to itself. For example, when you're hungry, you can sense hunger and you know exactly what to do. Why? Because the body is sending a signal to its own self and you're acting on it, on a compulsion. The problem is when the body is sending a signal to the mind and trying to give it and trying to tell it something.
Psychologist Abraham Maslow, who studied a lot of children, for instance, he said that children, they have what he calls impulse voices. And these are voices that say, I like this, I don't like that. They're very clear. They know what they like and what they don't like. Everyone had that because it's the nature of being an infant in this world, right? Because it's natural. It's a voice that's naturally inside of all of us. And then as you get older, you start listening to Mr. Harbinger and Mrs. Harbinger telling you, don't do this, do this. this is what you should behave like this, don't behave like that. And slowly you go through a process where you're not hearing it anymore. You're hearing what teachers tell you. You're hearing what parents tell you. You're hearing what peers are telling you about what's cool, what's not cool. I'm talking about like your career, what you were meant to do. And then you arrive, you're 18, 19 years old, and you haven't a clue because you can't hear that voice anymore. And you're going to try this, that, the other, not based on things that are deep inside of you, but based on what other people have told you should do or what they think is cool.
There's something in between the body and the mind, and that's called the ego, an artificial mountain, an artificial opaque screen that sort of destroy, that sort of you lose that. The ego causes a lot of the message that the body's trying to send the mind to be lost in translation.
Our bodies have incredible sensory capabilities that allow us to notice subtle cues and gather information about people around us. These cues can be observed through various channels, such as body language, facial expressions, tone of voice, and even energy vibration. When our bodies pick up on these cues, they send signals to our minds in the form of abstract feelings and sensations. These sensations serve as a way for our subconscious to communicate its observations and interpretations to our conscious mind. They provide us with intuitive insights and impressions about others, sometimes referred to as gut feelings or sixth sense. These abstract feelings and sensations can manifest in different ways. Positive sensations might include feelings of comfort, trust, and attraction towards someone, while negative sensations might include uneasiness, suspicion, or a sense of danger. These responses are often based on our subconscious processing of the information gathered by our senses. The reason we may experience these sensations without consciously noticing the specific cues or connections is because our subconscious mind is highly adept at processing vast amounts of information in parallel and making rapid assessments. It notices patterns, discrepancies, and inconsistencies that our conscious mind may overlook.
When you're sleeping, your body moves. And you don't know how it's going to move, but the body can sense when to move. In other words, it knows that it just cannot be in one position for too long, or else it'll develop blood clots or something like that. So the body understands that it needs to move. You may not be consciously aware, but the body knows what it's doing. Or even with people, sometimes people give us a weird sensation, and you don't know why somebody makes us feel weird. You don't know why somebody why you can't trust people, certain people. But a lot of the times, you kind of were alerted that danger was coming, that this person is bad for you, or that you're about to get mugged like I did. Your body kind of knew it before your conscious mind knew it. You see, your body's always aware. Your body's making new connections. The issue is that your mind blocks those connections to arise in your consciousness. Because sometimes the connection that the body, which is your unconscious, create is not something that your ego wants. Like, the person may not like you back, right? So it'll suppress it and use rationalizations to suppress the feeling. But what happens? It's just like it's just like the Barbra Streisand effect. When you try to suppress a message, it gets out even more.
It's actually a weird phenomenon called the Streisand effect, where the attempt to suppress something actually brings more attention to it. The name comes from an incident where Barbra Streisand tried to sue a photographer to get a photo of her house off the internet. But the internet, being the internet, decided to share it everywhere. You see this all the time, with Samsung trying to suppress the information about its phones exploding, or North Korea when they tried to threaten Sony if they released the movie The Interview, or when books get banned. Like, sure, I have no interest in killing mockingbirds, but tell me the book's being banned? Give me a shotgun. I'll put together the book club myself. Chances are, if they just don't react to people mentioning it, very few people would care. But because they tried to suppress it, it makes people more curious.
When you try to suppress that sensation of discomfort that this person is making you feel, because the body might be telling you that this person might not be good for you, what that does is that by you suppressing it, it puts you deeper into denial, and that emotion begins to corrode you from the inside, which is that energy was supposed to help, but because you're pushing it away, now it's turning against you. It sees you as an enemy. It really does. It says this person is an enemy to myself. And that's the thing. So these sensations come in many different forms, and I'm gonna tell you what these sensations are. Because for example, the first one is that when somebody really likes you, you're gonna feel confident, right? Your body's gonna react to their positive and consistent behavior towards you. Your body's gonna react with confidence. So that means when you walk around in the street, you don't feel insecure. You don't feel jealous of other people. You feel completely validated from within because this person is going out of their way through their consistencies and their predictability to make you feel secure. The next thing is that you feel validated. You feel validated from within. You feel like you deserve the love that you're receiving. You wake up in the day, you're walking down the street, and you know that this person wants you. There is no uncertainty, right? And because of that, because there's no uncertainty, you're able to predict them. You know that they're going to be there tomorrow. You know that they're going to text you tomorrow. You know that when you send that text, you know they're going to respond. There is no feeling of, are they going to respond? Are they going to call me back? No, you know that predictability happens because when somebody likes you, you're like a crackhead. You're consistent as hell. There's one thing about crackheads is that crackheads are consistent motherfuckers. They will get their crack, right? And so it's almost like the same thing. When somebody really, really values you and really likes you, they're addicted to you. And one of the hallmarks of addiction is predictability. So that's one thing. You'll be able to predict them. And because of that, you'll feel set and have a foundation. It's like a child that could predict the love of their parents. When a child knows that you're always going to be there, that child feels confident. That child feels like he could predict you. And because of that, he could develop a more safer and established relationship. Why? Because he feels cared for. And that's another thing, is that when somebody really likes you, your body's reaction to their attention, to their detailed attention, because they're paying attention. Just like you can notice when someone is staring at you, or when someone's paying too much attention at you, or when someone's gazing at you and following you, you could also, and your body kind of could tell, your body could sense eyes, right? You could sense eyes, right? Also, there's contrast, but your body has an ability to just sense people looking at you. You also can sense the person paying deep attention to you, because when somebody pays deep attention to you, you feel validated. When somebody pays deep attention to you, you feel cared for. So if you're sick and you're tired, let's just say you're really sick, and they really care for you, they're gonna look at you in a way that you're gonna feel cared for. But the reason why you feel cared for is because your body is reacting to their deep observation. Your body is reacting to their deep focusing. They're looking at your face. They're looking at your nonverbal cues. They're looking at the differences, how you look now than before. And that deep observation, your body can sense it, right? When somebody's deeply observing you and you don't like them, it feels creepy. But when somebody's deeply observing you and you like them, it feels validating. So the next thing is that you're gonna feel like yourself, right? One thing about people who really value us and really like us, and they're not being inconsistent, is that you feel like you could be yourself around them. Because you know that even if you're your most creepy, psycho-looking eyes self, they're still gonna want you. They're still gonna like you. I remember one time, that's still though, right? You could feel like yourself. You could feel like your goofy self. You could feel like you don't have to hide that part of your personality, right? And the next thing is that you feel watched and cared for, which goes to the first one. Just like a parent who loves their child, just like a parent who really wants to take care of their child. When you're with someone that really likes you, the emotion you're gonna feel, like it's almost like you're in a little bubble, in a comfortable bubble of love and attention. And this applies to anyone, man or woman. Even like, for example, when I'm with a girl that really likes me, one of the things that I do is just I just feel more comfortable with being my weird self. Like when the woman is sending me signals of inconsistencies, I feel like I have to change my behavior. I feel like I have to be a little bit more interesting, a little bit more cool, a little bit less goofy. And even though I know that that's how you should behave, you should be more chilled. I still do it to a certain degree. It's almost like it can't stop. You know what I'm saying? We're not perfect actors here. We're not psychopaths. So that's one thing, right? You feel confident, you feel validated, you feel like you could predict the person, you feel cared for, you feel like yourself, and you feel like you're being observed by somebody who loves you. And when that happens, your self-esteem goes up. Right? It's not like you're gonna have low self-esteem by being with them when somebody likes you. Your self-esteem goes, oh my fucking God, he's fucking moving. Your self-esteem goes up when somebody really appreciates you. So that's one thing, right? So now that we understand, because the body knows. The body knows this person likes us, and the body knows that this person doesn't like you by making you feel insecure, right? That's just how that works. If they like you, you feel secure. Now, it does depend on your attachment styles, right? If you have an attachment style of consistently feeling insecure, of consistently needing to get validation, then you kind of you kind of know that in yourself. And so this video might not be for you too much, but even people who feel insecure, when you actually meet someone who likes you, you're gonna be comfortable with being your creepy, needy, Tyrone type of look, self, right? Now, what happens when the person is not sending you signals that they like you? How does the body interpret that? Because again, your body is reacting to the other person's neurochemistry. Your body is reacting to the other person's biochemistry, right? So if your body can sense when somebody's angry at you. Your body can also sense states of mind, right? Even when somebody moves a muscle, your body reacts to that, right? When somebody feels afraid, your body reacts to that. Even emotions that they're suppressing, you gotta understand, it's not just, you don't sense people's emotions and mind through just looking. There's other senses that we have that we're not aware of, but that the body is aware of. It's always catching those things, and so those signals are always sent to you as an abstract feeling. The problem is that those signals could be so abstract that the mind can literally twist those signals around to tell you that, you know what, this person does like you, you should pursue them no matter what. Now, what are those signals? One, you feel confused. You feel confused. You don't know whether or not this person likes you. It's like, I will tell you guys this: when somebody likes you, it's obvious. Even Stevie Wonder could tell he likes you. When somebody likes you, there's no confusion because of the consistent nature. It's like, how do you know? Think about this, right? We got to change the word liking to addicted. How do you know someone's addicted to something? There's no confusion that they're addicted to it. That's the first thing. You know this person loves his crack, right? and consistently, honestly, like what I don't like is that consistently. Oh yeah, maybe so. Shit, this lady has she looks like a meditation lady or something, but whatever. Oh my God, Father Alex got ignored. We saw that. He got fucking rejected. He got rejected. Shut up, Melissa. Right? So that's one thing. You feel ignored. You feel confused, right? And you had to ask me for whether or not he likes you. Listen to me, man. There is no question when someone's addicted to something. If you confuse whether or not this person likes you, even though this person is telling you, look at the feeling. If you just look at the feeling, it'll give you more clarity. The next one is that you don't know if they like you. There's a part of you that doubts whether or not this person really feels what they feel, right? And so because of that, you're not going to really be comfortable with expressing how you feel around this person. You're not going to really be comfortable with expressing your desire for them because you feel like it's not going to be returned, right? So that's one thing. You don't know. I'm telling you, when you're in this situation, it's not about finding out. It's literally about leaving. I'm telling you. And you know what's funny? A lot of you guys are going to listen to what I'm telling you. And because a lot of you guys are hard-headed, because I'm hard-headed, y'all are going to have to learn your lesson the hard way. I am telling you. You guys are going to listen to this video, and a few months later, when you guys get played, you're going to say, you know what? Holy fuck, Father Alex was right. You want to know why? Because even when I got played last week, even I was like, yeah, you know what? Baba Alex was right. That version of me on YouTube is not. That motherfucker knows what he's talking about. Like, even I was shocked. I'm not even kidding people. Like, I was shocked. I was like, you know what? Even though that's me, I was right. Like, kind of blew my mind, people. The next one is that you can't predict them. Let me tell you something, man. If you can't put money on the fact that this person is gonna come see you next week, this person does not like you enough. If you can't bet your house that this person is gonna come meet you on the next time you set up a date, if you can't bet your house that this person is gonna say yes if you propose, yo, dude, like, honestly, like, just think about that. Think about that. Imagine your boys are like, yo, is this person coming? And you're like, I don't know, man. I'm gonna ask her, but I don't know. They're like, doesn't she like you? But you know, she's just been working. They're like, all right, well, just let you know, my girl's coming. I don't know. So hopefully your girl's coming. What the? Let's really think about that. So when you're in that situation, it's not. What's funny is that what you guys have to get out of the compulsion of doing something, or being something else, or or this be or this is under your control. You could do something to make it more predictable. No, unpredictability usually means that the person doesn't like you. And a lot of you guys are saying, what happens if you watch my channel? I am telling you, you're still going to be able to predict them, because they will not need to be unpredictable if you're being consistent with them. Like just make, this is very simple, man. When you can't predict them, they just don't like you. Like, it's just that simple. Like, I know if you like me, I know where you're gonna be tomorrow. I know that at any moment in time I could see you, I could call you, I could get in touch with you. But when you're not in that confident state of mind, then you're not gonna be able to predict them. It's just how that works, right? And the next one is that you feel alone. You feel like you can't depend on them. You feel like if a crisis happens, they're not gonna be there. You know? That you're not gonna be comfortable with asking them for help, to take you to the hospital, to do this, to do that. But if they do like you, we all know that they're always gonna be there. In fact, some people take their lovers for granted, that they even brag about how their lovers will never leave them, even if they're being toxic towards them, you know? And that's how that works, you know? You can't, sometimes it's just better to focus on the physical sensation, because your body knows. Your body knows the truth. You may not know the truth because there's a chasm between your brain and your body, because that is your unconscious. You may not know the truth, but your body knows. And sometimes you don't have to get clear signals. All you got to do is just look for certain feelings, look for certain thoughts that pop up, and those thoughts are like a North Star. Right? They guide you towards a decision. And when you can't predict them, when you feel alone, when you feel like you can't open up and be yourself around them, when you feel unsure whether or not they like you, confused, it means that they don't like you. Plain and simple. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys ever want to work with me one-on-one, go to mindfulattraction.org. Don't forget, use the coupon code MINDFUL to get 30% off my one-on-one sessions and 60% off all of my courses using the coupon code MINDFUL.